by Cardinals legend Patrick Peterson. Patrick, what's going on, man?
What up, guys? How you guys doing on this Tuesday?
Doing good.
We're doing okay, man. Right. Are you on the golf course, Pat P?
Well, you know I'm heading to a golf course. I'm in a little conference room right now, catching up with you guys.
Okay. Okay, buddy. Thanks for your time as always, man.
All right, Pat. I guess let's just start with the last week for the Cardinals to win on Monday Night Football and to have that emotional high, and then all of the stuff that went on with the quarterback situation, and then 6 days later you're in Seattle and you're getting blown out. Really, for the first time this season, the Cardinals haven't gotten blown out at all this season until that game. Just as a player, how do you kind of recover from a short week like that with so much stuff going on, and then get ready for San Francisco in just a few days?
Well, looking at that game last week, it looked like the guy still was in Dallas, being down 21-0 in the first quarter, and we all know what, went into that. You can't turn the ball over and things like that. But now that game is behind you. Going into, this week against another divisional opponent, you want to make sure that you don't have those same mistakes that you had, in this game. Like I said, turning the ball over in the first quarter, the opposing defense scored twice, so therefore we started the game in a 21-point hole. And we all know, Luke, Wolf, you played this game. When you start in the deficit that far behind, it's tough to get out of a hole.
Yeah, that was really, really tough. There's no doubt about it. I have to get your take on the strip sack that turned into a touchdown twice. Mm-hmm. The fact that the same players did it, Tyrese Knight, the same players, DeMarcus Lawrence, the fact that they did it, Pappy, have you ever seen anything like that?
To be quite honest with you, Wolf, I've never, ever in my, 35 years of life, never seen anything like that before on, two players making the same exact play on drives not too far apart from each other,
So you were you were at a loss too, right? You were screaming at the television.
What the heck is going on? I thought it was deja vu. I said, are you? I can't say what I actually said. I said, are you kidding me right now?
I think we were all thinking that, actually, Patrick. Well, you have that game. You have the, how good everybody was feeling about this offense and Jacoby Brissett. And then you have a game like that by no means was all on Jacoby Brissett. But, how do you, as a team, specifically on offense with a different quarterback now, move forward from a game like that and put it behind you as quickly as possible?
Yeah, you definitely want to, put that game behind you as quick as possible. I know those guys, as soon as they got on the plane, they watched the film, and then got into the building on Monday morning or Monday around 2 o'clock. At least that's what the schedule was when I was there, around 2, get your workout in, you go in and watch the film, put that behind you. So today's Tuesday. Now these guys are on to the 49ers right now and trying to put forth their focus and their effort to getting a win against another, like I said earlier, against another well-coached divisional opponent who just came off an embarrassing loss as well. So you know that you're going to get their best shot. So this is another good opportunity for the Cardinals to right their wrongs against another divisional opponent.
So, Pat P., when you think about where the Arizona Cardinals are at this point in time and what you saw in the Seattle game, what do you think they need to fix ASAP?
Watching that game last week, it looked like the offensive linemen, playing together as a group had a little bit of trouble. It just seemed like they was never on the same page or getting off the ball, or run blocks or pass blocks. So, I know that's going to be something that they probably will want to, go after in his offseason next year. And also, running back, that's another. And although, those guys, DeMarcado had a decent game, 64 yards, but we got to have more, and that also starts with the offensive lineman, so the guys up front got to play better as a group, not allowing, guys to just tee off on the quarterback and also being able to open up holes and lanes for the running back so they can have a more balance of attack. Because when you have to just drop back and pass the ball and be one-dimensional, that makes it very easy for teams to game plan against you.
We're talking to Patrick Peterson. Patrick, the Cardinals have seen Seattle twice, so they've seen Jackson Smith and Jigba twice, and they've actually held him to his 2 lowest receiving performances, but they've both still been really good. He's on pace for almost 2,000 receiving yards. How, when you were playing, how would you cover a guy like that, or how at least try to slow him down?
Well, I had my share in covering guys like that, year in and year out. You got to, and we have guys in the back end that can do it. You just have to make sure that you're mixing in coverages, getting guys in his face, throwing up the timing of the routes and things like that to really frustrate him and get that timing off between the quarterback and the receiver. But for the most part, you got to mix in some bracket coverages, mix in some zones, and be aggressive with them at the line of scrimmage.
Pat P, obviously, this time of year, especially in November, man, you start seeing teams getting nicked up and banged up and some of the injuries that are taking over right now. How did you deal with injuries in your own career personally? How did you process those?
Man, for me, I was one of those lucky ones. I played 96% of my snaps, in my NFL career, my 13-year career. So for the most part, I really never had to really deal with injuries. But for me, what I did to not be, one of those guys, that had dealing with those soft tissue injuries is that I did a lot of body maintenance, So even if I'm not in the facility, I'm going to see, my biomechanic doctor. I'm a naturopathic doctor as well to make sure that I'm getting my oxygen back into me, make sure that I'm replenishing my body to where when it's time to go back to war, that I'm closest to 100% as I can be.
Talking to Patrick Peterson. Patrick, there was a moment in that game against Seattle where things were not going well, obviously, and it was Budda Baker and Calais Campbell, 2 guys that kind of rallied everybody together on the sidelines just to sort of get them back on track in that game. I just, from your perspective, what do you think when you see these 2 guys, in Calais' case, still playing, and just kind of what they bring to a team right now that probably needs some leadership?
Man, that's it's funny that you say that, but that's some of the things that I wanted to see from Kyler Murray. That's some of the things that I wanted to see. James Conner, he did a good job of that, when he was in the lineup. But that's something that you don't see on the offensive side of the ball. So and it shouldn't take guys from the defensive side of the ball because for the most part on teams there's 4 to 5 captains, 2 on defense, 2 on offense, and typically 1 on special teams. So therefore, I would like to see, guys on the offensive side of the ball doing that a little bit more because that goes to show that this not only that you have good leadership, but you have a good team leadership, just not one specific group is trying to get the guys back rally and getting them on the same page.
Pat P, 8 games left, man. 8 games left. What do you need to see from the Arizona Cardinals in 8 games?
And these 8 games moving forward, I want to continue seeing guys fight, having guys show that, how much the game means to them, how much winning means to them. Because at the end of the day, that's when your team is, not in the position to go in the playoff. Now you get an opportunity to see the character of your team. So I want to see guys still going out there fighting, still going out there pursuing victory and not giving up. You know what I mean? So because at the end of the day as well, that there's 31 other teams that's looking at this film, so you still want to be able to put good film out there. So therefore you can have a job because like I said last week as well, this league is all about what have you done for me lately? And guys have to understand that every time that eye in the sky is on and recording, somebody's watching. So I don't care what the situation is, what the circumstances are, still go out there and play for the name on your back.
Yep.
Patrick Peterson, great stuff
Thanks,
as always,
Pat
man.
P.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week.
All right,
Okay, man.
Take care. That's Patrick Peterson joining us right there on the Arizona Sports Line.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.